Hey it's Hersh and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a chill draw with me and also a collaboration with VLLO Illustrations. This collaboration has been in the works for quite a while and I'm glad that we could finally do it. For the collaboration, we decided to finish each other's drawings, so I would draw the line art and VLLO would color it, and vice versa obviously. We decided to pick two characters from the anime Horimiya, which I finished watching around 2 months ago. I think I talked about this in some previous videos, but I have to say, I love the characters in that show. They're so well designed, and especially as the season goes on, you can really see the development so well, and I just love it. You also might be wondering, Hersh, why is this video posting today instead of Saturday like you usually do? Well, this video was actually supposed to go up 3 days ago on Saturday. Due to the technical difficulties in the previous tablet review, that pushed back the schedule that I had along with school, so this video had to come out slightly late. This doesn't mean that my posting schedule is changing or anything. I'll be uploading my next video most likely on Saturday or Sunday. Speaking of which, one of the upcoming videos will be a Drawing Your OCs Part 2, so if you haven't already, submit your OCs. You do not have to resubmit them, by the way, if you already sent in your OC, and if you haven't watched Part 1, then make sure to check that out. Anyways, I think it's high time we talk about what we are drawing. So I'm coloring Hori, who is one of the main characters from the show, and VLLO actually drew this. By the way, if you want to hear which I drew for them, then make sure to watch their video. It will be linked in the description along with their channel. They mainly do speed paint type videos along with some background music, although they do have the occasional traditional art video. Their art is so amazing. Something that I really like about it is the stylization, because the way they draw facial features is actually really different from my own style, but it was honestly so fun to color, especially the way that they draw eyes. I also love the way they render their digital art and add the shading. It makes it look so good, so definitely make sure to check them out after this video. I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing the drawing I gave them digitally, but I also wanted to do it traditionally because those drawings are more entertaining for me to edit and make. Also, I'm so close to being done with my sketchbook. I only have around 3 to 4 pages left, and after I finish the last page, I like to go back in the sketchbook and fill any half-empty pages with doodles or sticky notes or little annotations. I'm hoping to have a sketchbook tour out soon now that I'm on summer break, so obviously I'll be having more time to draw. Anyways, I was originally going to print out the drawing they sent me on my sketchbook, but I realized that I couldn't really do that without ripping a page out, so instead I decided to do the tracing method. I took a separate piece of paper and traced the drawing that they sent me, then I flipped it over and put graphite all over it on the back side. Then I taped it to a page on my sketchbook and traced it so the graphite would allow the lines that I traced to be transferred onto my sketchbook. That's kind of confusing, but I distinctly remember watching a Super Ray Dizzle video like a long time ago, and they had this method like this in it, so I tried replicating it. I'm not sure if I did it exactly, but this worked pretty well for me. Also, I did the line art on camera this time. I usually never do that because my sketches are so messy, but this one was actually really clean and crisp, so it was pretty nice to trace over. Now let's talk about the coloring process. I was going to be doing an intense lighting coming from the right, so I think I started doing that on the skin shading, but I kind of gave up on that because I forgot about it when I was coloring the clothes, so it did look a little bit odd. I still love the way the drawing came out though. I usually never do finished illustrations like this in my sketchbook. My sketchbooks usually have a collage of small doodles and drawings per page, so this was kind of refreshing and new to tackle. I've also gotten comfortable layering different markers to get the exact shade that I want, and I think I reached a point in my marker art where I start to apply digital art techniques into it. I did a lot of layering for the skirt as well, which you will see later. I actually use this method for one of my other drawings, and something that I like doing in my sketchbook is noting down what colors I use for each drawing, and I also like annotating to say like how I did the layering technique, so I can use the same technique later on if I have another drawing that looks similar. So for the hair, I did use a color from the Ohuhu skin tone set. I haven't used much of the markers from there in a while, and I haven't colored brown hair in a while either, so this is very nice. I am designing so many OCs that have brown hair, by the way, so I'm trying to make them have like different shades of brown hair, like warm tone and cool tone and pink tone. I don't know, something that I just wanted to mention really quickly, but I had a lot of fun shading the hair, especially with the way that they drew it with all the lines and the creases and everything. I usually don't draw my hair like that. It's usually a lot more messy in my style, but I think I'm going to convert to this way because it's just a lot more fun to color and it's super satisfying to watch the speed paint version as well. I also get a lot of questions asking what markers I use and what sketchbook I use. So I use the Canson mixed media sketchbook. It's not the XL version, which has a blue cover, but it's the black cover version. Also, I am thinking of switching my sketchbook to an Ohuhu sketchbook. Like I said before, I am almost done with this sketchbook, so comment down below whether I should get the Ohuhu spiral bound sketchbook or the one with their page are connected, like book bound I think it's called. And yeah, for the markers that I use, I mainly use arrtx markers because I've just grown my collection over them and they're the brand that I have the most markers of. Also, they have all the shades that I need for most of my drawings, so they're really easy to use. They're also very easy to blend and stuff, so yeah. I also like using sanjoki markers like this drawing. I used a lot of them because they have a lot of the more unique shades that I use for especially shading brown hair because they have a lot more purples and warm and cool tone purples. I also sometimes use Ohuhu markers from the Ohuhu skin tone pack, but I don't think I've touched the 48 marker set of Ohuhus yet, so yeah. This drawing was in a different style than what I usually color in, obviously, so I did have to adjust some of my coloring methods. But overall, I'm really happy with how this piece came out. I used a lot more purples and blues to shade in the hair like you saw before, and also in the clothing. For example, when I was coloring this vest sort of thing, I did go in with a gray undertone, but then I went over all that with the blue, eventually going over it again with the purple to match more with the general color scheme of the drawing. I have to say, it is super satisfying to watch the slowed down footage as well, because, I don't know, it's just so satisfying and it's just really fun to watch. Also, friendly reminder to keep a little plastic sheet behind your drawing so that it does not leak onto the other page. I completely forgot about that when I was doing my drawing, so some of the ink did go onto the other page, but it was fine because it was just like little speckles and dots. And usually I have a lot of those in my sketchbook and I can pretty much just cover it up. So as we head on to coloring the skirt, I did use a bright orange for the highlights, and then I used purple for the base color. I went over all that with the gray to darken it and make it blend in with the tone for the rest of the drawing because this drawing wasn't going to be super saturated or anything like that. I used more cool tones like blues and purples like I mentioned before. I have to say, I love shading the skirts because of all the creases and everything. It just makes it so fun to add all the shadows and like finish it. I also hope that you guys like this new kind of style of editing where I add some more slow motion clips or like real-time footage. I have been thinking about doing an ASMR video because a lot of you guys have requested that in some of my other like older videos. So if you guys would like an ASMR type video, then comment that down below as well. Also, if you have reached this far into the video, then comment down below who your favorite character from the anime Horimiya is. Mine is probably either Yoshikawa or Miyamura because of their designs, also their character development. It's just really fun to watch overall. And if you haven't watched the anime, then I definitely recommend it. It's on Funimation, which is I'm pretty sure is where I watch it. I also use an ad blocker so I don't have to watch the 3-minute ads every time. Yeah. For the eyes, I went in with the same brown color that I used for the hair, as well as a darker purple to match it. I also used some shades of blue to create more contrast, and yeah. I did use my white gel pen to go in for some of the highlights and also adjusting the eyes because some of the marker ink bled through a little bit too much and I wasn't like controlling it as much as I usually do. I have to say adding highlights is definitely one of my favorite parts of drawing. It's just so satisfying. So for the background, I did use a purple to shade in because it seemed like a nice contrast color for the hair, but it also matched a lot of the base colors in the drawing. Either way, I have to say big thank you to VLLO for collaborating with me. Make sure to check them out. Their channel is so amazing, and like I said before, I will be linking it in the description along with their part of the collab, which was actually uploaded earlier. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this far into the video. Also, I'm looking forward to more weekly uploads and see you guys next time. Bye!